Welcome to our podcast, Ask a Health or Fitness Expert, where we have a variety of guests that volunteer to share their love of health and fitness products or services that are all things good for us. Quick disclosure, this podcast contains our own personal tips, advice, suggestions, and our opinions, but our honorary guest, as always, every single week, Jake Weeks. We are here to talk about gym etiquette. So this week's topic is going to be kind of funny, hopefully, maybe controversial, as I was just informed before we went on. I have my list of things that I would love to maybe vent about or see what your opinions are, but do you want to go first, Jake?
Well, I want to hear you vent because we could probably get the easy ones out of the way, and then maybe we can help people with the ones that are like legitimate questions about what they should be doing, you know? So since you said you have to vent, let's hear it. Who are you the most upset with? Is it the grunters?
Oh, I didn't think about the grunters. That's a good one. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while, but the gym I go to, his grunts are actually sex noises, like no joke. Like everybody's turning their head, like what is happening? Full on terrible.
So you got one in particular already that you think of. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, at this gym, but you know what is funny is if you spend a good amount of time at a gym, any gym across the country. And what I mean by that is, 4 days, 5 days a week for a couple of weeks, you kind of find that every single gym has those personalities. There's certain personalities. So the gym grunter, every gym has one. They may not be there every time you go, but like this sex noise guy, I can picture him obviously in my mind. I'm like, I can see him with his headphones on, full on, but the past gyms I've had long-term memberships at, same thing. There's always that one. And how do you address that?
With headphones of your own? I mean, there's no addressing stuff like that. There's no addressing it if some guy slams his weights down, and acts like he's just lifted the world on his shoulders or something. You just have to deal with it. And just like you said, every gym's going to have them. So what can you do? That's just like every society is going to have those types of people too, or the egos are just flaring.
Gosh, yeah. And you mentioned slamming the weights. That is one of the ones on my list. Dropping weights, I get it. That's, that is part of, some people do that. That's, what they do, heavy lifting, and they slam the weights down. That's part of what they do. But what really does irritate me is the slamming of the weight machines. In fact, I think in some gyms, not the one that I'm at currently, some gyms it actually has a sign asking not to do that because it is really hard on the machines. But this gym that I'm at currently, there's a couple of members there that just slam the weight machines, and it just drives me bonkers. But it's not my job to say anything, right? I just give the glare, like, what the hell are you doing?
Right. It's bad for the machines. It's bad form. Like, it's not really helping. If you've really gotten to the point where you've reached failure, where you have to drop the weight, A, you haven't, but B, if you have to, then lighten the load, or congratulations, you're one of the few people in the gym, like really powerlifting to max, and you probably know more than we do. So I won't talk to you, but it's rare that you really have to drop a weight is what I'm trying to say. Like most of the time that they're dropping it, they could set it down and give themselves a little bit more workout. And just for those that don't know, dropping the weights, as long as you don't damage them, isn't even that big a thing, but please put your weights back where they belong. Please, the whole idea of just leaving them wherever you want or putting a 25 pound on the same as a 45 pound on the rack, that's so annoying. That's like the first thing I learned in high school weight room was put the stuff back where it belongs. Let's start there, please.
Yeah, recently the leg press had 100-pound plates left on it. And I'm sure it was just some sort of ego thing. But my daughter was like, Mom, I want to use this machine. And I was like, holy cow, I don't even know where those weights came from. I've never seen them before, but yeah, that's just awful. Yeah. Agreed. Put your weights away, put them back where they belong too. So I'm not looking for them.
Here's one that's a little ambiguous, because what if it's like one of those machines where without weight, like it's obviously not enough resistance unless there was, you know, a very frail person. And so it's almost like you start with a 45 on each side or something. Do you think that those should be cleared all the way?
I don't know. I mean, you know, you're talking about a power lifter type situation, like a stand, like a setup that everybody would use and at least start off with that.
Yeah, those
Right?
big calf machines or a big leg press machine where you would warm up with like the first 45 plates. Most people would warm up. You know what I'm saying?
No. Most sleds are usually start off at 65 pounds without weight, right? At least the ones I've seen.
Yeah, depending. You know, there's different types. There's like the calf machines, you know, where there's almost no resistance, where you
Right.
put it on your shoulders and stand and do that, you know.
Oh, that's true.
So
That's a good point.
this is just one of those little things, you know, like to me, I guess I try to take them off, but sometimes, you know, if I look around and I see that the next person who's likely to use this is likely to just put those weights right back on, then I'm like, is it better etiquette to like try and help this person out? This is where it becomes a fine line, you know. There's just one of those little things. But in general, put your dang weights away, people, okay?
I think you just justified why not to put your weights away.
For certain equipment and certain situations with certain people, I suppose, you know, there's like the one rule, the exceptions to the rule, I suppose. But in general, the rule is put your weights away where they belong.
Right. Well, what about perfume, aftershave, cologne?
I'd rather smell that than some of the other stuff. So if I had to choose, you know, but obviously you should always try to have smells that aren't offensive to other people.
Right.
And be appreciative of the fact that you're working in close confines and we're all, you know, sweating and stuff.
Yeah, there's not this gym. I've experienced it once here, but my previous gym, there's this one gentleman, seems to be nice man, whatever. But there'll be, you know, there's like a row of 25 treadmills. And I would go in there and sometimes be the only one on the treadmill, and he would go to the one right immediately next to me. And his aftershave would always be so strong that I could taste it. And I would literally get off my machine, which really irks me, because then it starts the time all over again. And then it moved to the farthest one away from him. It just, you know, I think that's wrong. Don't do that.
That's weird. And that's just like in general etiquette, no matter what you're doing. Like if I go into the men's room and I pick a urinal, don't pick the one right next to me if there's another one available, like a little private space, you know. There's a bunch of treadmills, don't work out right next to me, you know. To me, I don't want that. And that's just weird. That guy's weird. But people do like gravitate towards where other people is, you know. In my experience working in a restaurant, it's like if there's one person sitting in, the next group will come and sit right by them and they'll all congregate. It's almost like this just natural subconscious desire to be around people. So just a random aside there. I got one for you that's a little controversial. How do you feel about wiping down the sweat machines? Because you've got obviously people that would never do it no matter what their condition. Then you've got people that practically carry around the bleach spray and the rag, and they'll wipe down everything that they might have breathed on every set, you know. So where do you fall in between those two spectrums?
I have actually seen somebody that brought their own wipes and, you know, and had their own Purell, and you could see them Purelling every moment. And really nice individual, got to know them. I never ever asked about that detail, and maybe it's, you know, for health reasons, I don't know. But for me, I feel like if you're a sweater, yes, you need to wipe down your equipment. The thing is that I always think is funny about it is that those that do wipe down the equipment are typically wiping it down afterwards. But what about before?
I mean, I'm selfish, so I'd rather me be clean than the guy after me, I suppose. So if I had to choose one or the other, I'm wiping it down before. Just kidding. I only wipe it down afterwards. But I only do it like if there's like, you know, wet sweat, like, because a lot of times I move from machine to machine, you know, and so I don't want to be wiping it down every time. And to me, but if I sweat, if there's wetness, definitely. But to me, it's almost silly to see people that wipe down every aspect every time. It's almost like they shouldn't be going to a public space to work out with other people, because there's just, you know, like we should keep it clean, but there's got to be reasonable expectations of some transference of germs.
Right. You know, getting rid of all the germs is not good for us.
No, it's not. We should talk about immune system health one day too. That could go into a lot of stuff. But that's interesting though, because, you know, I know people get pretty adamant about that one, you know, about gym wiping down stuff. What else you got? What else bothers you?
Oh, I got a lot. Well,
Oh.
sticking on the germ situation, every single day in the locker room, I will witness someone not washing their hands after using the restroom, period. That's just it. So kind of wiping down the equipment kind of like circles back around to that, what germs are we in contact with? And part of it is I've realized and I've noticed that a lot of gyms, the restrooms and the sinks are in like two completely different areas. Still no excuse not to wash your hands, but guys, wash your hands. Girls, wash your hands. I actually, every gym I've ever been in always has this personality too. The one that is the gym rule enforcer. And I have one here currently. And what's interesting about it is she turned me in, and I got called into the principal's office. And what it was about was I was in the the workout room for the fitness groups. So, with the mirrors and all the hard floors. And anyways, my daughter and I were in there all by ourselves, no class being performed or nothing. It was on a Sunday. The gym was practically empty. Her and I were in there. I took off my workout shirt, but I had a sports bra, which was really wide, and I had high-waisted pants on. So I had about that much showing of my upper torso. My belly button wasn't showing. And so her and I were in there, and I was doing some fun stuff. She was taking photos for my Instagram, my social media. Hello. And those of you that know me saw my post probably. This has been probably 6-8 months ago. But she turned me in. And of course, the gym manager came in there moments after I saw her peek her head in and enforce the rules. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. So you don't know me this well, Jake, but sometimes I get a little riled up and I'm like a bull in a china shop. So I went and hunted her down and confronted her, and point blank was like, knock it off. Because I'd seen her actually be a gym rule enforcer to other individuals in the gym. And so I wanted her to have a piece of my mind. And long story short, the conversation went on for probably at least 20 minutes. And to this day, we're actually friends. Like every time we see each other, we stop and talk. But she did agree that she needed to calm down and stop, and just go and enjoy and work out instead of being the gym rule enforcer. She's not being paid to enforce the rules. She just took it upon herself. And it was, it clearly says in our gym, no midriff showing, but I see it all the time on the open floor, but it's not my business. It's not my pay grade to take care of that.
Where do you work out? 1980s, like Bible Belt or what?
I don't know. But don't be the gym rule enforcer. Mind your own business. Come to the gym. Have fun. And that's what I told her. Part of the conversation was I don't want to come to the gym and feel like there's this uncomfortable awkwardness between us. So, and I told her, I said, this is not your job. This is a place for you to come and enjoy and make friends. And that's what we did. We made friendship right then and there. But every gym has that gym rule enforcer or that gossiper. Everyone does. I'm serious. They do. At least in my experience. How do you feel about those since it's kind of about germ stuff, how do you feel about those walking around with no shoes and working out?
I've never really seen it. Although I will say that I guess maybe I have, because I work out in flip-flops sometime after I go play basketball.
Really?
And I've taken all my ankle, gear off, and yeah. And, the bottom of my feet stays in contact. So I'm not like, and I know that there's a risk of obviously dropping weights on my feet, but I don't drop weights on my feet typically. So I don't know. I don't go pure barefoot. I feel like that would, obviously introduce a whole nother level of like sweat contact and stuff that needs to be taken care of, same with, I guess, why they have the midriff rules, stuff like that. They just assume it'll be more contact with benches and stuff.
No, I think the midriff rule is for, I don't know. It's not for germ purposes.
Is it for jealous old ladies or creepy old guys to keep them like under control, or what is the?
I'm not really sure, but I don't think it has to do with germs. Now the feet thing, I think you're right. I think it's the whole risk of, dropping a weight on your foot, and your skin, when it's in contact with things, definitely it will absorb. And so I think it is a risk for you, but well, everything that I can think of for that role. But yeah.
I know I'm weird. And here's another thing I do that I know is just embarrasses the heck out of my soon to be 16-year-old stepson is I'll go sometimes in jeans because I'm just swinging by. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go shoot some hoops. I'm going to lift. I wasn't planning on it. I'm not going to my house to change clothes. To me, jeans are equally effective at keeping my skin in contact from the bench. They are a little warm, but they are cotton. Like, they actually breathe a lot easier than some of these workout pants. And to me, it's just an example of like the kind of etiquette that is etiquette for no good reason. Like, I think it's weird to wear jeans. I wouldn't recommend people wear them. Like, they're not the most breathable or comfortable fabric, but I've literally seen jeans not be allowed to be worn in like signs. And I'm just thinking, how does that negatively affect anybody? You know, it's weird. And then it reminds me of like the bikers, you know, bicyclists that have to get like their spandex outfits before they've even put in like, you know, 10 miles on their bikes, you know, and just like, I do have questions about why spandex is necessary for bikers and other workout gear that people wear. You know, it's not very breathable. It's not practical, but that's just an interesting one. I know I got a lot of flack from my stepson, like I said, for that. But when I explained to him, look, it covers me up, I breathe, you know, so functionally it's no different than a thick pair of sweatpants or something.
Right. The only thing I can see, I don't know why a gym would have a rule on that. That seems really excessive, but I would just think that there would be some restriction, but of course that depends on your jeans. You know, do you have the really tight 80s jeans, or do you have the jeans that are, you know, saggy all the way down to the bottom of your knees?
Baggy gangsta jeans or skinny emo jeans?
There you go. Yeah.
I'm an emotional gangster, so I got they're in between.
Wow, cool. How about cell phone use?
You know, that used to be such a thing where we used to just get offended, but now it's so ubiquitous where people are like doing their business on the phone. I would just say, as long as your voice is, you know, normal level. Some people talk as if like they don't think that they're talking so loud, you know, like they have to shout across the room. And obviously anytime you're doing something just occupying machine, especially when someone might want to use it, like that's a big no-no, and that's super annoying. And there's been times where I see someone sitting on a machine and I have to ask them like, can I get in there? And they'll say like, no, I got another set or two. And then they'll turn back to like their phone or just sitting there. And you're like, if you're not using it right now, get up. That's the etiquette. And let's be clear about that. Or if you're not going to use it in the next like 30 seconds, get up. That's the etiquette about it. Okay. IMO. What do you think? I mean, what do you think about phones and stuff? Like, everyone's got one now. Everyone's probably got their headset in, you know, they're getting phone calls in the middle of listening to their music. They're taking them, they're getting back off.
Yeah, I recently, actually, within the last 2 months, had an experience of being on the treadmill. And I was actually trying to not only get my workout in, but listen to something that was on my phone. And I had the volume all the way up. And this woman got on the treadmill next to me and was holding on this very loud conversation, and I kept giving her the stink eye, and finally I stopped my machine and had to ask her to please take the conversation somewhere else, because I couldn't hear what was going on in my headphones. And so you know, I think there's a time and a place. I really encourage all my clients when they go to the gym to really unplug, get off social media, unplug, use that time to you know, replenish your body and use it as a self-care moment. You know, really get into the music or something motivational, or, you know, really just use that time, or don't listen to anything at all. Like, sometimes I'll have my headphones on and there will be nothing going on. It'll be sound counseling headphones, but listening to nothing, just really replenish my body and my mind and just slow down. And sometimes those are the times I have my best ideas or thoughts. The thing that I do on occasion, and I think it's really not good with a cell phone, is setting your cell phone on a bench and then working out, you know, but then it's like occupying that bench. But the only time I'll do that is if there's other benches that are free, and I'm really mindful of people around me. So if somebody makes eye contact with me, I'll try to figure out, do they want that bench or whatever? I mean, I'll try to find a better spot to put it, but, you know, like a windowsill or somewhere, you know, that's not going to be in the way of anybody or get stepped on. But yeah, I see that really often where a phone, water bottle, and a bunch of stuff is just laid on equipment, but yet they're not working on it. So that would be a problem.
And in conjunction with that, I'll see a guy who has to have like 4 different sets of dumbbells just sitting by his bench because he's got like this long, drawn out superset program. Doesn't think in between the 5 minutes that he's going to be using those 20s that anybody else might want to use them, you know. That kind of stuff drives me crazy, you know. It really does. The hogging equipment, the not acting like anyone else is there. It's one thing to talk on your phone, it's another to talk at a high level. Like I believe in multitasking. I like to talk on my phone while I do this stuff, but I wouldn't ever plan a phone call while I'm at the gym. I might take one if I need to, but I'd be talking like this, you know. I'd be really trying to keep my voice down and not be obnoxious.
Right.
Let me tell you something that really has bothered me at the gym lately, and this probably doesn't happen in weight rooms that much because they have music and people have their headphones now, but like in the actual basketball portion, a couple times recently I've had some guy show up with his speaker, turn his music on, and turn it up loudly in a public space to the point where I can't even like hear my own stuff. You know, I can't talk to the people I'm with. And I'm just thinking, how egotistical are these people to come and turn on their music that they don't know if anybody else likes, play it so loud that no one else can hear it? Like, the logical conclusion is that I'm gonna have to come in with my speaker and play my music louder, or else we both have to just agree that's what headphones are really for. That's a great time and place to use headphones when you're in public.
Please, so he's playing classical music, right?
Oh, and it was excellent music that everyone would appreciate. It wasn't the kind of gangster rap that just talks about objectifying women and how much money they make, you know. That's the thing. It's just the worst type of music on top of it all, you know, just objectionable to even, you know, the most hardened sensibilities, honestly. But maybe I'm just a nerd and a snitch. So I'm that person at the gym that tells on people. I didn't even realize it.
It's you. It's you. You are the one at the gym. That's what we got to figure out is your personality. And I think we figured it out.
Well, I did go tell on these guys because like, just like you said, you have to see these people every day. I don't want to be that guy that's like a nerdy guy, you know, could you turn your music down? But at the same time, because also I'm afraid that I'll be like, dude, how egotistical are you that you turn your music up in a room full of other people without consulting, you know?
So you turn them in because you know that you're not going to handle it well.
I think I could be diplomatic, but I think in gyms especially, you get testosterone and get people working out, like the egos are really like vulnerable, you know. Like if I thought they'd be like, oh, I totally get it, I would have gone over. But I think most of the time they'd be like, well, you don't like good music, you wimp, like, you know, turn it up on me. And then it'd be even more like stressful. And, you know, so I was just like, I'm gonna let the staff handle it. They should handle it anyway.
Right.
There should be a clear rule, and it should be obvious. Like, don't play your own loud sounds unless, you know, you think they'd be widely approved.
Or sex noises.
But yeah, no, that's.
So giving people space. This has happened twice in an extreme level in my time working out at a gym. One time was really bad. I was on, I'm pretty sure it was a leg curl machine. And this is a gym that I've only been to a couple of times. So I basically had a membership at a gym that I could go to one of like 5 in the state. So this is one where we drove 400 miles. So it wasn't near my house or one that I knew hardly anybody at. So it kind of is a little bit different working out at a gym that you don't know anybody at. But I was on the leg curl machine and this man decides to come within, I don't know, 2.5 feet of the machine and like stand there and stare at me while I'm on my second set. And I think if it was the gym that I frequented, I might have reacted differently, but because it was a gym that I probably would never go back to, I decided to handle myself very poorly. But I let him know how I felt and that he should never do that again. And I'm pretty sure he won't. But don't do that. Don't like hover over someone. Come so close that, you know, I can feel your body heat and stare at me while I'm on a piece of equipment thinking that I'm going to hurry up. No, you're going to piss me off.
Yeah, that's really annoying. People really need to be more aware of space and how people are walking. I'll be carrying heavy dumbbells back to the rack and somebody will just walk right in front of me with nothing, you know, and it's like defer to the guy carrying the big dumbbells and anticipate where people are moving as you move. And the worst thing is like, I'll be doing an exercise, something like this, where it's really obvious the amount of space that I need. And as my arm goes down, here comes somebody walking right here. I literally have to stop my motion. It's like, you could not anticipate the next motion in this sequence. Come on.
Well, how about blocking the mirror? What happens if you're seriously engaged in your workout, you're making sure your form is proper, and I decide to come and go in the mirror in front of you and get my gym
You see
selfie.
people like lifting up their shirt and flexing this muscle and that muscle, it's like, they're not even like professional bodybuilder. I can see the professional bodybuilder doing that, but like save that kind of stuff for your home mirror most of the time, And if you're at the dumbbell rack and you pick up dumbbells, don't stand right in front of the dumbbell rack and do your set just because the mirror's there and you don't want to step back 3 feet because that's an extra, 3 feet of work. Like, don't block all these dumbbells until you're done with your set, please, people.
Yeah, I never superset or do compound workouts at a gym. If it's busy, I do one thing at a time. I don't save equipment, and there's always somebody at the gym that loves to do that. Like, I'm working on that.
But I do the compound, but I never save the equipment. I always put it back, and then if the 20 dumbbells, I'll find the 15s or 25s, and I'll just adjust. I'm not gonna like fight for them.
So I don't think we're that bad. Do you?
From you're bad, it sounds like. I wouldn't want to work out with you and make any mistakes. If I stand too close, or if I make the wrong sound when I'm really working hard, or if I don't put the right aftershave on right.
Oh yeah.
And me, I'll be in like flip flops and jeans. So God,
gosh, you break all my rules. Woo! Yeah, we can't be at the same gym. So maybe it's me. I'm that weirdo at the gym.
And I'm the tattletale that doesn't follow the rules but tells on other people for them.
Yeah. Wow.
Damn. Well, we should open a gym for like people that don't know the etiquette. They just don't have any respect for other people.
Yeah. That would be perfect. That would be a great environment, I would think. We could film everybody and maybe start a TV show.
YouTube channel is what it would ultimately be the source of funding for that.
That's the end of my list. I'm trying to think. There's some other stuff that I've seen that.
Just today, I read an article about like a fight breaking out and how they were swinging dumbbells on each other. I think in Philadelphia or something, But they're dangerous places, If there's any kind of stress or controversy, like just walk away, back away. It's not worth it. And like I said earlier, egos are flaring, testosterone's high. Some of those guys probably are on some stuff that'll increase, that kind of reactionary response.
Oh, I have one thing, a quick story. I don't know if this has to do with gym etiquette or not, but it'll be a great ending to this podcast. So this was probably 6 years ago. I don't even know if I've told you this story. And it was on Facebook too, but I was working out. Speaking of hopped up, I had a really good pre-workout. I even remember this. So I was on a high dose of caffeine in the middle of my set, pumping iron and really into my workout. And a gal that I knew really well at the gym taps me on my shoulder and is like, "There's somebody hanging out around your car." And I was like, I got insurance, put my headphones back on, and I kept working out, just like not really caring, because and in fact, actually where I parked was quite a distance from where I was actually physically working out. So for me to stop, exit the building, go to my car, it would have been a big ordeal. And I was in it pumping, right? Caffeine kicking. And so I keep working out, and she comes and taps on my shoulder again. And she's like, "You don't understand. He's now on your car, but he's naked."
That's bad etiquette. You're right.
So even you wouldn't do this, right? So I put my weights down, and again, high dose of caffeine.
It's funny that this lady's telling you this instead of like, okay, maybe I should call the cops or let some management know. Like, you're gonna go out and deal with a naked guy, that obviously has something going on. But anyway, go on.
I'm in the weight room, and of course, I'm sure she's told people in between these two taps on my shoulder. And so I decide to run to my car, and I'm a really good expert at flipping on my camera on my phone and turning it on.
That's a good habit.
To film stuff, to record stuff, to document stuff, and to keep me safe, but also prevent me from doing things that I probably shouldn't do or say. So anyway, so in the middle of my running to my car. And granted, I have a nice car. It's a red Challenger. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful car. Don't get me wrong. Flip my camera on, my record, but also all these bodybuilders are running behind me. Like, they're like, what's going on? I want to see what's happening. So I get to my car, and sure enough, this man, he actually had underwear on, but he was humping my car. He was on the hood of my car, humping it. And so I immediately asked him, who are you and what the hell are you doing? And actually, that's a little censored. There was quite a worse language used. And so he gets off my car, and he looks at me and like looks through me. Like, he was physically there, but he was on something pretty strong. And he was, he told me his name, and he kind of murmured a bunch of other things. He put his pants on, and he broke the window out on the car behind my car, took a screwdriver and got it to start and took off. I did call the police. They were en route. And they thought the video was freaking hilarious. Like, they weren't really interested in finding this guy, but they were astonished that I recorded this whole thing, got his name, got his face, everything. And then he broke into this other car and took off, and they just were like, but they loved the part of him humping my car. Fast forward a week, they did find him. Of course, he violated his parole and served some time, not necessarily for humping my car. It caused no damage, amazingly.
That's not a crime. Humping cars isn't a crime.
You know, he didn't have the tools to damage my car. So no mark, no damage, no nothing. But yeah, I did find out a week later he did get picked up, and for violation of his parole, because of the car that he broke into behind mine actually ended up being his. Apparently he couldn't figure out how to open it or whatever, was in a hurry. I don't know what his deal was, but he was definitely not clean and sober as he was needing to be. But yeah, I was known for that for a very long time. It took a while to shift my reputation in the gym. I was like, everybody was like, oh, you're the girl with the car. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not a reputation you want. You want to be like the bodybuilder, or you want to have something that people talk about. That's good.
That's a crazy story. I mean, I guess if he stole his own car, then car humping must be a crime. That's what he went for, parole violations. So you can't hump cars that aren't your own, I guess.
Yeah, man. The guess is he was on ecstasy, but
but I'm glad you had those bodybuilders with you, because obviously, like, that is a very dangerous situation, and no one should like confront a person like that by themselves. That would, especially a female, that'd be pretty dangerous, I think.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't know if I'd handle it any different. Because I mean, obviously the result was fine, but you're right. Somebody completely out of their mind could have a different reaction.
It's unhinged, unpredictable, and
he didn't have any weapons on him for sure. But yeah, I had easily 10 real big bodybuilders with me, and so surrounding the car and also videotaping, because this was just the weirdest thing ever.
That is pretty funny.
You don't see that every day, but yeah, so real quick, tell everybody what it is that you're passionate about and how you can help them. And I'll release what I do, and we'll call it a day.
I'd like to make working out fun and sustainable, and I like to find what you think is fun, and then we'll get you in shape using it. And I like to use a bunch of different methods, because it gets boring doing the same thing after a while. So fitandhappyclub.com is my website. You can learn more about me and some of the equipment and stuff I use. I do 2 free sessions. I do free gait and posture analysis, and just call me with any questions you have. I like to help people.
That's awesome. That's really great. I also help individuals go from feeling rotten every day to feeling great every day, and that is different for everybody. I am a healthy lifestyle coach, and I also am recently personal trainer certified. So at this time, I'm doing personal training programs, so I can create that for you that are customized and personalized based on some phone calls that we'll have either weekly or bi-weekly, or as often as you want, pending what package you purchase. I also do one-on-one premium coaching where I can talk to you up to 2 times a week for an hour and figure out what it is you're wanting to achieve and create goals and smash those goals. So I will post Jake's link and mine below this video as always, but this was a fun topic to talk about today. Something a little different.
It was. And if we could sum it up, just be considerate of others. It's not that complicated. All right. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. We're in a public place. Get along, everybody, and have fun, you know? And here's one last tip before we hang up. You know, one thing that I think really ignited my love and desire for fitness is having those people in the gym that either give you that head nod of good job today, or actually even saying great job today and just giving you a high five and walking away. Those small things made a huge impact because there are days that I don't want to work out. There are days that I have 1,000 excuses not to go, but I still go and I still show up and I'm still there and I'm grinding it out. But that head nod or that acknowledgement that we're all there trying to improve our health, get fit, whatever it is, those small little things are enormous in others' lives. So,
and you might not even talk to the people or know their names, but you recognize each other and you are part of a community. And there are some arrogant people, some meatheads, but by and large, these are people trying to improve themselves. These are good people, and you should be excited to be in that kind of environment around people that are trying to make themselves better. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I think the key
unless you smell bad or you make grunts or you hump cars, that's not cool.
Yeah, I think the key to success is surrounding yourself with people that are wanting to achieve ultimate, healthy lifestyles. And it is hard, especially if you're a part of a family or a lifestyle where, it's not been that way forever, or maybe it hasn't ever been healthy. So, surrounding yourself with people that strive to be healthy is key. So make friends at the gym, and that's a slow process. Let me tell you, a lot of times people at the gym are there and, motivated or just have that span of time and they don't want to sit and have a conversation. But, well, anyways, good. I think this was great. And next week we'll pick a new topic. So
yeah,
we'll chat then.
See you next week, guys. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Katherine. Bye.